Hello YouTube, and welcome back. Got another combat mission, Battle for Normandy after action report for you. This time it's one from the campaign, the English campaign that comes with the Commonwealth module. I've got to defend Gavrus, sorry, always get that wrong. Gavrus in outside of Caen in France. Caen. It depends on the accent. So this is basically part of Operation Epsom, which took place in late June of 1944 as an attempt to flank the city of Caen around to the right and across the Odon River. Did this, but it didn't really threaten the German forces near completely, but it did actually tie down some armour for quite some time. That's my understanding of it. I won't read all this to you, and just pause the video and read the briefing. Basically, there's three phase lines on the map which I have to defend. Basically, the Germans are probing our position that we've recently taken, and we've got to make sure they don't reach different phase lines, otherwise it could give the impression that it is lightly defended. So you see those phase lines are in yellow there. Phase line blue, is the outer one, and that goes to phase line blue, and red, yellow and red, sorry. So and you lose victory points for each phase line the Germans are able to touch, or at least get some of their forces. So keeping them away is the key here. At the start, I've only got. Let's have a look here. I've only got some basic infantry platoon and a anti-tank gun 6-pounder, which is up there. In the briefing it says that anti-tank gun has to be redeployed, has to get off this map, so I'll get victory points to get it off. That's going to be pretty easy and first up objective. The briefing says it's in a very bad and exposed position, so it has to move on. So this time, I know in the past I've edited quite a bit. This takes a lot of time to go in between all the different videos and cut out all this programming, so I'm just going to actually keep it this time. If you don't really like it, tell me in the comments, but it does mean I can process or play the game and process the video a lot quicker. So first up, I'm just packing up the gun and deploying them to these Lloyd carriers, as well as getting the team ready to go and to quickly get off the map. I'm going to move 11 platoon, which is my first platoon on the map, basically up onto the phase line, just to cover that wheat field and get into defensive positions as quick as possible. You'll also notice on the blockage there, or blockage, there's little gaps there. Those little gaps are there for two reasons. Of course, one, to easily get through the blockage, but they're known during the campaign as murder holes. Murder holes because you'd funnel troops through it to get through the blockage, and therefore be very easy for the defender to just pick you off. So in the game, like that one there, I'm just about to move. Oh no, I'm not. Basically, in the game, troops that are poking their heads through those murder holes are actually more exposed, so be very, very careful where you place your infantry. What I'm just doing here is, I don't call it cheating, but I call it hindsight. Bit of confession, I've played this battle before. It was a great close combat which I just marginally lost, because the gun, which you see me getting off the map as quick as possible, I actually kept on the map a bit longer to see in case there's any armour floating around. So I'm playing this with some, you could say, 20/20 vision, hindsight. The other big error was the enemy would use that blockage line on the top right of my screen as some form of cover for a good base of fire. So I really don't want to get into a firefight with the Germans on that far line, so I'm just having target arcs which don't encompass the bockage, except for this one here, which is just going to cover that intersection. So I only want to really open up and expose where I'm deploying to the enemy when they've actually through and into the wheat field. So you get the first turn underway. Okay, the reason I don't want to get into a firefight, quite simply, is the British infantry squads going one-to-one with a German squad would be severely overwhelmed in a firefight. The Germans have, of course, got their MG42s and plenty of rifles and submachine guns, where the British forces have basically one SMG and the Breen gun, and then the rest are just Lee Enfields. So the British won't win in a straight-up firefight, in my experience. I know in the last after-action report I said I didn't want to go toe-to-toe with my German forces against the American paratroopers, but that's purely largely because of the different skill levels of the forces being used. My men were more green and non-motivated. The American paratroopers were. I've still got that problem in this battle. My men are trained this time. They are the British soldiers. They're not an Ost battalion. But just it comes down to sheer the equipment in this time is completely different. So as my men move up, we get first contact with the enemy, and the first incoming fire. Okay, on the left-hand side there, you see my men. They're actually packing up still. Okay, so we're starting to spot the enemy. So there's looks like you can see I just forgot to put a cover arc on the mortar, so the mortar's going to open fire with their rifles. Oop, take casualty. But the squads aren't, because they're ordered not to. So I'll have to fix that after this turn. That's another reason why you put cover arcs on mortars. They love to fire the mortars off. When a mortar gets fired behind cover, it's basically setting off a flare saying, look at me, I'm here. So something to be very, very cautious of in battles. Okay. Okay, so I've decided to open up on that one. I haven't. Sorry, it's been a while, been a couple of days. Basically, I've got to remember what I'm actually doing. I play the game and record all the footage over time at nights and weeknights, and it's now a weekend basically to do the commentary. So bear with me. Maybe need a few more drinks. Okay, yeah, as expected. Initially thought, yep, just make sure that mortar no longer fires. To keep their heads down. Okay, so it looks like there's at least a platoon forming up on the other side there. I've only got one casualty from the HQ squad. It is the radio man. Yeah, it is the radio operator. Not too worried. I don't have any off-map artillery on this match, so I don't really. The radios don't really come into effect a lot. This is really going to come down to skill level of the individual troops on the field and their platoon commanders. So still, it looks like the target arc's covering a little bit of the bockage. That's why those men are just opening fire. Okay, you'll see there. They're all packing up still. It takes about 3.7 minutes to pack up that gun. So I'm just going to sit there and wait. Just ordering my men also to hide. Just extra little, does reduce their spotting, but it makes it very hard for the enemy to spot my men in return. So there, that's there's 3.7 minutes. So that's my real aim. I don't want to lose men now before the enemy commits to its main assault, or in this case, given the mission, it's probing attack. That's when I really want to open fire and with everything I got. Don't want to bleed or have a firefight of attrition at this point in time. So there we go, my men have gone into hiding mode, and got some more contacts at the back there. Looks like it's probably what the guns crew's picking up. Given I can't hear anything, it's probably more infantry. I do know there is a vehicle in this match. Once again, benefit of hindsight, but we'll see that soon. And there we go, the gun's moving. Maybe breaking the laws of physics a little bit there, but in the game it's actually attached to one of those soldiers as his weapon, so, well, sort of like a rifle, you could say. Okay, just redeploying away from that murder hole. Just noticed my men have taken up positions around those murder holes, so just move them around a little bit. I've also noticed, didn't notice in the first time I played this particular battle, the part of the crew of that gun is actually part of that squad, part of that platoon, so definitely don't want those guys to go off map. I'm losing 2 rifles, so get them to rejoin their squad. Because I've got a nagging feeling I need every single gun I can get. You may also notice the quality of the graphics went up a little bit. Just realised beforehand that for some reason my settings were set down a bit low. Take an odd hit. Looks like someone took a pot shot at the Lloyd carrier. Penetrating hit, but it looks like probably only a small caliber round. That's why it didn't do any damage. Okay. So they're ready to go, but my my men haven't got out of the vehicle in time. So they're going for a ride. I have to fix that at the end of the turn. Not many enemy contacts just yet. So I'm just going to put a pause order on that guy. And once again get that squad out of the vehicle. So that fire team, sorry, 2 men. Since the gun's all packed up now, it's going to have the Lloyd carrier travel down the road to this exit point. Just like my first video with Winter's assault on the gun battery on D-Day, those forces get points for reaching that exit zone, so you'll see that they'll disappear once they reach that point and it's safe to do so. I think here I was just worried about causing a bit of a traffic jam. That Lloyd carrier is right in the middle of the walls there, so sometimes the AI can try to find its own way around when paths are blocked, so really want to try and avoid that, because the path the AI picks may take it right out into an open field somewhere, probably through those wooden gates in the centre of the screen there. Okay, so even though I lost my radio operator, it looks like the command team there saved the radio. So, small victory. Okay, so it looks like another platoon's forming up. What's that would be on the, I think it's to the east. So I've got contact with 2 enemy platoons, it looks like. Okay, so now that fire team's got off the Lloyd carrier, rejoining their squad, just get the vehicle out of here as quick as possible. Okay, I'm just going to change this target arc to cover any advance by that second platoon I've made contact with. Same with the mortars. So starting to get a little bit thin for troops on the ground. So I've got this one platoon really covering a large area. Half of it covering the first platoon there, and that probably the other half covering the second. You'll also notice the target arc for the Piat, or the anti-tank launcher there, is very small. That's the squad I really don't want to get identified until I come up with an armoured target for it to target. So yeah, it looks like 2 full squads of Panzer Grenadiers. Luckily, it doesn't look like they have vehicles, because if they came with half tracks, I'd be very hard pressed to stop them in time. Okay, yep, and they are SS forces, Waffen SS. The Waffen SS around this time period, I mean, and also modelled in the game like this, very, very well equipped. Usually got the best pick of the equipment and a priority for getting resupplied equipment-wise. So their squad make up a lot more machine guns, a lot more anti-tank weapons. Morale varies quite a bit. I mean, I know in popular culture SS always seen as the fanatical troops. Some were absolutely devoted to the cause. Others were not so devoted. It was a very mixed bag. So make contact with an enemy vehicle. So there you go. So that fire team that's come down to rejoin its squad didn't have its own target arc, so it's taking pot shots with its rifles. Oh, and just lost one of them in return. So the other squads should open up soon. That vehicle is a priority though. It's definitely going to be able to lay down a base of fire. Okay, I'm taking him off hide mode. And I'll go look at the vehicle. No, we won't. Not just yet. Just going to order to target the vehicle with the full squad. It's not, rifles aren't going to hurt it. It's an armoured car by the looks of it. But it will force the commander in the hatch to button up, hopefully. That will hopefully limit its visibility or spotting capabilities. Probably more important with the tank, if there was a Panzer or something, it would be definitely try to get rid of the tank commander. Get him buttoned up. I'm not really good with words today. Because that would severely limit what they could see, especially infantry at distance. So there we go. And let's try something else. Okay, so they're entering the wheat field. It's time to really start having shots. Except the paired mortar is going to stay down. Okay, looks like they already lost a man on the right there. That's why the vehicle's a priority. It's got a 20mm weapon, so 20mm high explosive rounds coming down range at me, plus probably got an MG2. So it's buttoned up now. Fucking look at, yeah, it's buttoned up. Okay. So it looks like I just lost my rifleman there. No other casualties at this stage, which is good. He hasn't rejoined his squad. I'll just move him to another hex. Sorry, another square. Doesn't use hexes this game. Just see if he can rejoin the squad just properly. So yeah, definitely a full platoon over there of SS. Just going to order the. I was thinking about attacking the vehicle, but just going to an area fire that area with the mortar. And now we'll have a look at the vehicle. So there we go. Once again, that's heavily modded. Heavy modded by Fuser. I think he's Fuser or Aris. He goes by a number of names. Doing an excellent job on all the vehicles. So thanks for that. So the high explosive mortar rounds hopefully will catch a few of those enemy troops in the open. They're probably going to form up on that fence first, then bolt over to charge across the wheat field, with the vehicle giving fire support. Thank you for a little bit of hedges and dirt. It's not the best defensive position, but it's definitely better than the Germans, which have very little cover as soon as they leave the blockage there onto the left. That wheat field is a very exposed open area to get across. Okay, looks like the first mortar round fell a bit far. One thing the Germans do have to their advantage is in a wheat field. It doesn't give cover, but it will give concealment. So as soon as those Germans go to... not someone else. As soon as those Germans go to ground, it'll be very hard to spot them as they hide amongst the fields there. So, but when they're moving, that's when they're easy to spot. Okay, looks like I've got reinforcements just in time. So 12th platoon, that's another platoon, should be exactly the same makeup as the 11th platoon that I've already got on the field. Just get that vehicle off now. First I was thinking get them up in the same position as 11th platoon, then I think I immediately thought to do something a bit different, and was going to put them down further to the was it be to the south, I'm guessing. No, I'm just not 100% with that old compass. So there we go. Going to take up positions on the other side of the bocage. Maybe I should learn French, I don't know. So while that's taking place, a little bit more about Operation Epsom. The operation was another attempt on the Cairn sector, which basically was really in a stalemate by this stage. A lot of the German reinforcements to the Normandy theatre were being channelled at the British, especially SS and armoured formations. I don't know. It's I know there's a lot of criticism of Montgomery and his forces' conduct around this theatre, saying that the British didn't advance far enough on D-Day, and it took forever for them to take the city, which really hampered everything else. But when you look back, looking at what the British had to go up against on this side of the Normandy theatre compared to the Americans over around Utah and Omaha Beach, I mean, it's amazing they didn't get pushed all the way back. A lot of the German reinforcements did go to this area, and a lot of their quality armour too, where I think at one stage there was like one armoured division was facing the American front and the British had the rest. So the British definitely, I think, had the real challenge to get past. Not saying the American sector was any significantly easier, but with the Americans breaking out during Operation Cobra, I mean, that was a lot easier to do than the British going through the bulk of the German forces around this city. So yeah, some of the criticism I think it's a bit, you can't really blame the British for getting locked up. Yeah, anyway, let other historians debate that fact. So what I'm just doing now is decided to go after that vehicle. Just ordered the Piat team to unhide and put a bit of a cover art covering that where I know the vehicle is. It means the Piat team won't fire on anything else except if it comes into that cone. So since they're focusing their spotting on that little area, they should hopefully spot the armoured car in short order and open fire. Very long range with the Piat launcher, not ideal, but once again, a little bit of hindsight here. I know that's going to be the major threat that the Piats can take care of. Then it's not really going to be much else. So if it goes through its ammunition quickly, it won't bother me as much. Okay. We've also decided to move the Bren team just up to the left there. That's still part of phase line yellow, so the Germans could come up to that, flank me from that point, and still claim the entire outer phase line. So I'm just going to send some forces up there. It looks like the wheat field's secure for the moment, so just send that scouting force there to see if there's anything on the other side, see if the Germans are flanking me at all. That should give me some warning. Meanwhile, 12 platoon's going to take up position. I'll just call it to the, I think it's to the east of my other platoon, I think. So yeah, just back to Monty and the operation as a whole. I mean, the operation wasn't the biggest. Epsom did tie down German armour in the theatre, rather than those newly arrived armoured forces going to face the Americans as they were originally intended to do. So it did accomplish that. It did cross the Odin River, which was a good launching point for further operations around the city of Caen. So it wasn't the, but yeah, once again it did hit stiff German resistance and basically turned into another stalemate. Okay, so there's the Pierce launching. Looks like it's going a bit far. Problem there is the enemy vehicle is got a bit of a hull down position. It's got some cover in front of it, so the Piat team needs to aim its Piat to go over that, first to go over that cover, then for it to actually drop on target. So a very, very hard shot to do. And oh dear, my scout team immediately picks up what looks like another German platoon. So this will be the third platoon now coming from my flank. So did that really just in the nick of time. So they've immediately opened fire, but I've got two men facing down an entire German SS Panzer Grenadier platoon, so I've really got to get reinforcements there very quickly. Damn. Okay, so yep, definitely a full platoon, full squads with MG42s. And I really had that reinforcement platoon now going to the east rather than to the west here. Sorry, to the north where they should be. So I'll quickly redeploy. I don't want to leave this wheat field exposed. Even though I've got another platoon to the east there covering, they're mostly there to cover the second contact I made. They're just taking up position. Piat should get some shots off soon. They won't be able to cover from that position towards the German blockage there where the first contact was made. So really that 11 platoon, which was the forces initially deployed, is still stretched very thin. That's definitely my weak spot. So I've got a squad quickly running over to help out, shore up the defences. Oh, also got a penetration. I'll just back that up. So yeah, it looks like that first shot with the second Piat team that just arrived took it out. Wow, got a penetrating hit, so that's a good sign on a light vehicle like that. You'll notice my forces are still firing on it. Even though I've got a good penetrating hit, my men on the ground don't know if it's destroyed or not, so what do? You keep firing, see what can happen. In the game, the men will only stop firing if they actually know for certain that the vehicle is knocked out or is no threat. So if it blows up with a fiery ball of flame, the men will obviously know it's destroyed and can stop firing. But if you just have a single hit on it, you see no difference. I mean, if you're on the ground, you'd probably want to keep firing on it to make sure. Okay, so there's the vehicle. It's a good sign. It looks like the crew have abandoned the vehicle. Doesn't look like it's destroyed though, so yeah, it's the crew bailing out. So it's probably got some significant damage to it. Yeah, it's not destroyed though, but that's good enough for me for the time being. Okay, so they've got two squads up front, while the mortar and a squad stay in reserve down there. But yeah, now that the vehicle threat is gone, I'll move the Piat team up. Excuse me, to I have a few drinks here with me, to cover that new threat. Need every extra rifle I can get up the top there. Yeah, just be very careful when you're playing the game like that. You don't want to put a movement order into the open by mistake. I think every combat mission player has had that happen to them once or twice in their gaming life. And I must admit, I came back here thinking I've really got to move forces to that left flank of mine. Hopefully the few forces that remain from 11 platoon covering the wheat field will be enough. They've got plenty of time to get shots on the enemy as they advance across the wheat field, but it's definitely getting very thin in numbers on the ground there. But I think the threat on my left flank's too great to ignore. What I'm just doing there, I just realised the PA team's going to run in the open straight past that wooden fence and be visible. So I'm just going to move them back first a little bit into the wheat field, and then they can move up to the left flank position. The reason being, they have a bit of concealment there, and being only 2 men, they will probably be able to keep hidden a lot easier. Just move that final squad up a little bit, just to a few of the men may be able to get into position there. It's a bit squished there, but should get enough fire on the enemy. Okay. Looks like the men that just arrived cowering, so it's not a good sign. So that second Piat launcher is still not convinced the vehicle's not a threat, so still taking shots. Really pay all my attention now on that left flank. It's a real problem. Got a platoon, enemy platoon, all spread out there. Plenty of fire superiority at the moment. Kicking my men's heads down. Just doesn't look like the enemy are advancing any further or any closer, which is thankfully good. I can move my men back from that point now if I wanted to, but if I did that, it wouldn't be very long before the Germans advance when they're not being fired upon, or they realise there's no threat there. So, if anything, it's the men being on that line and holding up the Germans is enough at this point in time. Okay. If only my AI opponent knew that the centre there was so, well, not defended at all, pretty much. They'll probably launch another attack. Yeah, it's just the AI deciding to redeploy a little bit. The men on the ground are not liking their position. Let them do it, just get them off fast, because fast can make them a bit more exposed. That's why you always see me moving in quick if I can. Fast is only really there in emergencies. It does really cause some problems and makes your men very vulnerable, even from behind cover in my experience. So I've got the second squad up and the peer team now. Hopefully that's enough to hold the Germans, or at least get some fire back on them. So that's definitely not a good sign though. I'm surprised at this point that I wasn't getting any stray mortar fire coming down on me, because my men packed up like this behind blockage lines. Oh, looks like some of them are broken. Had enough. A few well-placed mortar shots could really give this battle to the Germans right now, so I'm lucky in that respect. Okay, now I was looking there, they weren't broken. Looks like they just little bit shaken, rattled, yeah, just not broken, so that's good. So they should recover very quickly. And, oh good, another whole platoon's coming in. Cavalry has arrived, thank you, thank you, thank you. So this squad, it's pretty obvious where they need to go, and very quickly. Place that down, didn't like it. So move them up as quick as possible. And the squads that fell back, I'm just going to take the opportunity to get them back up on the line. The infantry have only got 1 or 2 rifles, those smaller teams. I need every gun I can get at the moment. Just might as well take the opportunity to spread my troops out on that line. Having your forces spread out gives the enemy more to think about, more directions got to worry about fire coming from. So if you block them all up in a couple of little squares, I mean, if you're in an emergency like I was before, fair enough, but always try to avoid it in my experience. Firstly, it's a beautiful target for any type of high explosive. One mortar round can knock out in multiple squads. The other point being, though, this game is very heavily on angles and positioning, so having different angles, I may be able to spot some additional forces or fire from different angles at other forces I may not originally get to fire on. So I'm thinking at this stage, when I'm playing this battle, it was that half platoon there really needs to hold out for at least another 2 minutes, which is not guaranteed, I don't think. If I was fighting with those German troops I was in my last after-action report, I think it'd be safe to say they wouldn't be holding. But these forces are a little bit more motivated, a little bit more skilled, so hopefully they can hold. Saying that, there goes another squad. They've decided to take the opportunity to run away. That's not good. Check that out later. Damn, it looks like my Piet launcher just flashed. It means it's taken a casualty. I need that squad up now. Okay, so that mortar round, by the looks of it, German mortar round, didn't hurt anyone, just fell harmlessly, but just the right time too. Last thing I need is those new forces to lose their men before they get into position. Okay, I'll just back up now. I want to know why that Bren team ran away. Okay, so yeah, just lost someone to a sudden shot. It wasn't from the vehicle. The vehicle wasn't. Yeah, the vehicle's still out of action. Okay, so yeah, it's just stray rifle fire. Looks like got the person. And there's the mortar round. Okay, so that didn't hurt anyone. That's good. Okay, let's move that 4 men left from that squad. Started with 6, so okay. So I've lost 2 men this round. Probably lost further troops from previous battles. This is, as I said at the beginning of the video, is a part of a campaign battle. Sorry, campaign series of battles. So these men that I'm controlling now have been in previous engagements and have lost forces. I do know they were resupplied or got forces back between one of their previous battles and this one. So when you're playing campaign, I think campaigns is probably the highest strength of the combat mission series, for the simple fact that I mean, you've got to really worry about your forces and not only the mission, but also, can I achieve future missions if these forces are no longer intact? So you've really got to plan very, very carefully. There's some campaign battles I've played which you may win the battle and you realise, I've got no chance at all straight after this. My next battle I've got, half a platoon left, So, so yeah, I think it's the pinnacle, you could say, of the game. Okay, so that new arriving platoon that you saw, I just put in position. They should reach it hopefully this turn. And just making sure the rest of the forces aren't doing anything stupid. Last thing I need is to focus on this left flank, and my right flank's suddenly decided to do its own thing and run away. Luckily, it probably won't do its own thing and run towards the enemy. That would be even worse. Damn. That's the last of the cider, so I have to pause this and get another drink. Never war game without a drink. Okay, so even though getting a couple of casualties on the Germans, keeping them at bay. Damn it. Looks like the German single guy ran straight into where the mortars were landing. Don't know where I haven't spotted any mortars, and it's obviously calling in from a spotter, so maybe it's off-map mortars, or they're well behind the line, so I can't spot the enemy mortars. Okay, getting some real kills now. Same, and I'm losing men too. Okay, my reinforcements still haven't arrived yet. Oh, okay, gotta look at this. Looks like the enemy making another push in the wheat field at the centre, which is really exposed. I could, knowing that my reinforcements are almost there, I could move my forces on the left flank back to the centre. But if I do that, they're under the risk of coming under fire themselves when they're not in cover, so I really don't want to lose casualties like that. Probably sitting there, I'm thinking, why is my HQ unit in the centre there not firing? And I don't realise it at the time, but because it's only 46 metres away. But if you look down the bottom there, I had no ammo. Didn't realise it until probably another turn or so later. The ammo is individually counted, as you can see, and those men there who have a pistol and an SMG. Sten gun, they only used 9mm, but they had no 9mm ammo left, so couldn't fire. So another thing to worry about when you're playing these games is make sure your ammo count's always good. Okay, I should definitely get up this turn, I'd say. And those Germans on my left flank are in for a real pain. Because then I'll have fire superiority and cover. So they come running up hills too. Looks like I'm starting to get the upper hand. Okay, and here come the reinforcements, just in the nick of time. Okay, the squad there are placed on the right there. They're splitting their fire between men in the wheat field and also the men down on the road there. There we go, that's what I was waiting for. Okay, so the Germans start taking casualties really fast. Meanwhile, my men on the right flank, are holding firm. That's what I'm really questioning. Why is that guy still alive? You know, why did he get past my HQ forces? So the worst thing that can happen, I think, in this type of battle is, you know, just because of a lack of ammo, one of these German forces suddenly touches the phase line and takes it. I mean, obviously it can't occupy it. If it was an occupy objective, I wouldn't really worry, but but because it only needs to touch the phase line, that's another matter. So I've just realised about the ammo situation, moving that squad up to join one of the new arrivals. Basically then it can share or borrow ammo from that squad, and to just move the remainder of that platoon up to where the HQ unit was. Okay, no problems I don't think with the forces on that line. How to double one's firepower in a couple of seconds. Have a look at that wheat field again. Something going on there. Now the Germans have to run. There's suddenly a murderous amount of fire coming from that one point. It looks like they're making a push in the wheat field at the same time. Looks like my men redeployed at just the right time again. Oh, that's painful. Okay, the newly arrived mortar starts firing too. So yeah, lots of German casualties. I think that's just turned the battle in my favour now, and a couple have surrendered too. So I'm just going to back up just what happened in the wheat field here. Looks like maybe 2 squads are coming forward. To my guns, close range. Okay. So I think the battle's now in my favour. It just turned like that, just very quickly. It's going to move the rest of my forces up. Time for it to really commit everything and really press home the advantage. So I've got to have that mortar to set up and just cover that little channel there towards the vehicle. Okay, I've also noticed at the back here there's a German sniper, so it is time for that newly arrived mortar to do its work. Okay, so not going to target the sniper, I'm going to target the area. Target the sniper, and the sniper goes to ground, the mortar will lose interest. So I really just want to target the area. It doesn't really matter if German goes to ground or not. It's a mortar. And it looks like that's the German quality equipment. It's using the G43 with the scope. So it's a semi-automatic rifle. So it could definitely pick off my men as they pop their heads out. Don't want that to happen. So it looks like the left flank is now safely secured almost. Could be a few more men laying or hidden in the grass there, but I think we're alright. So I'm just going to move the 11th platoon, which is the initial force, back towards its original position. Let the reinforcing platoon hold that line now. casualty. Looks like the executive officer took a bullet. Looks like he's wounded though. Water's opening fire. Falls just a bit short. Oh well. But the Germans are moving anyway. Looks like they know what's coming. It's definitely falling short. Germans in the wheat field there are definitely still close to the first phase line. That is still not a good sign. Okay, at this point I'm thinking, don't really need the mortar down there anymore. I'm going to take some shots at the vehicle. Meanwhile, the other forces can open fire at the crew, taking cover behind the vehicle there. If I knock out the crew, the vehicle, of course, is no threat at all. If I can knock out the vehicle, even better. Be very hard to hit, obviously, with a mortar to a vehicle, but it's only a light vehicle, open-topped as well, so getting a good hit on it would do a lot of damage. Could knock it out. If it's not, it could just be an abandoned vehicle at the moment, so if I can knock it out or do more damage to it, I get more victory points, most likely. So it's worth it, worth a shot. I'm not going to lose anything if I'm not successful. Except some ammo I really don't need at this point. Looks like the crews decided into the wheat field. Don't know why they did that, but I'll complain. Water would have got them if they stood still. Waters aren't having much luck today. Okay, that wasn't one of my light mortars. That was, looks like it had to be a German mortar somewhere. It was far too heavy to be a little 2-inch mortar that my platoons are carrying around with them. Got to hold for at least another 9 minutes, which I don't think will be a problem at this stage. Just making sure the line's secure. Still quite a number of forces of that platoon on my right flank. Just clear those targets. The tank crew are definitely no threat anymore. Yeah, might as well move the HQ up too. Just going to split those squads up. It's been an oversight on my part before. Too much of a juicy target to sit still or sit together. mortar, as with direct line of sight, is really closing on the vehicle, so hopefully we're going to hit soon. Oh, there we go. So, rear top hull. It's not going to do any much damage though, but okay. So it's a good sign when you move forces. You'll immediately go to give buddy aid or medic fallen troops. It means they don't consider there's much threat. Good indication. If they were immediately coming under fire, they wouldn't bother and just return fire or take cover. So they must think at this stage it's a pretty safe bet being there. Germans are still pushing. So I got another hit on that vehicle. There's too many British Tommies on the phase line for the Germans to get past now. This is turning into a little bit of a one-sided battle at the end here. Still got members of the 11th platoon which are doing buddy aid to their fallen comrades, so they'll move back now. Okay, that mortar's got no more high explosives, just cancel the fire, otherwise it'd be firing its rifles at this vehicle hull. Someone took another hit there. It's courageous. So they're throwing everything at this phase line. I think we're down to the HQs. So he's getting awfully close. Someone better take a shot soon. There we go. Have finally surrendered and are off the map. I think that'd be the last of the German attempts to take the line. I don't think they're going to have any more forces they really want to throw at it. So I think the name of the game now, because I'm in a campaign, the name of the game really is to preserve forces now. Oh, I hear German mortars. Definitely off to my left, so looks like it's an on-map mortar. Could be another spotting round coming down somewhere. Means I know that there has to be a German HQ or a dedicated forward observer somewhere viewing my lines, keeping his head down. Just zooming back here, just want to... oh, there it is. And well, there's a spotting round, and I took a casualty from that one. That's a bit of a distance. That has to be the most unluckiest British Tommy, I think, in the army. That has to be at least an 81mm mortar. Yeah, that's a bit of a distance. It's definitely spotting rounds, so see where this one lands. You can tell they're spotting rounds by the amount of time it's taking between shots coming down on my forces. So it looks like they're targeting somewhere on my phase line. I don't know. This is bad. If I knew where they're trying to target me, I could of course make some moves, but I don't know where. And as I said, making sure my forces survive to fight in another battle is now my priority. I mean, the spotter could be anywhere. It could be along the Bocage line, it could be on my right flank somewhere, looking at the centre. It could be on the left. If there was a nice tall building, that's probably where they would be, but there's no nice tall buildings from to hide in. Oh, okay. Unlucky again. That one's a bit more understandable though. It's pretty damn close, and it's took out 2 men. And looks like shaking the squad too. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just heard at the tail end there. 2 mortar rounds go off, in very quick succession. So that means, yeah, okay, that's obviously where they're going to target, where that last spotting round fell. So it is time to run. Those 2 shots are already in the air. I would say, no more than about 10 seconds to get those men out of there. It could be, I think it has to fall anywhere around that intersection. It could be along a line, it could be just a single target somewhere. So I'm going to move fast to get them well out of the area of fire. Just run. That's the name of the game. Just run. So that's a bit lucky. If that happened during the middle of a turn, I probably wouldn't be able to tell my men to run away. Yeah, they're going for the intersection. Channel. Just like, I know I've been calling it intersection. It's not really an intersection, is it? It's just a gate. Yeah, it definitely looks like 81mm fire. That wasn't a lot of rounds, and it was very concentrated, so probably a bit overcautious on my part, but better safe than sorry. Okay, I'll just get it looks like that's the end of the firing mission from the Germans, so I'll just move my men back into position. They've just run all the way down the hill, they've got to run all the way back now. I don't want any sneaky German forces to touch that phase line again, straight after the mortar rounds have landed. That'd be just insulting. All this hard work for nothing. I lost someone there. It was like the poor anti-tank gunner, the Piat team in full. Not a good sign. Yeah, if I'm versing armour in future battles, may come to bite me in the bum. At the very least, that soldier should get medic aid before this is all over. So a bit of a jog for those soldiers, but better than being dead. Took out another German. That's very close to the lines. Looks like that's maybe someone was sneaking through the wheat field there. If they were just crawling on their bellies through the wheat field, it'd be slow and tiring, but they probably wouldn't spot them until they get that close. Oof. Single rifle shot to the back. Looks like the soldier there was doing some buddy aid to a fallen soldier and got him shot in the back for his trouble. My men obviously don't have any mercy at the moment. Okay, so my men at the flank line again, and see there's no one I can easily spot, so there's obviously no one following up that mortar strike with another attack. So those men that took fire from the mortars, the mortar spotting rounds, getting assistance. Just trying a few pot shots with the enemy. Timer hit 0, but yeah, maybe a couple minutes of overtime. The computer just lets this happen if there's anyone close to achieving an objective, or there's something else I can do. Maybe it's just accounting for the fact that I've got a couple of soldiers still giving medic assistance to fallen comrades. Also notice it's getting a little lighter. The game simulates time of day, so you can basically over time, in increments, it will get lighter and change the visibility distances. Not really seeing it too greatly at the moment, but in battles that take place in dawn and dusk, really comes into its own there. Start the battle, when it's pitch black, and finish it when the sun's up. Also, I think I haven't really seen it as such, but the weather, of course, can change during a battle too. And there we go. Total victory. Looks like those last couple of men were forced the Germans to surrender. So I've secured the field. Enough enemy casualties, took out the car, and friendly casualties were at a minimum, so full points for me. Germans didn't take any of the phase lines, didn't get the anti-tank gun, and didn't cause enough casualties. Very light on casualties for me. It's very good in a campaign situation, and I did actually manage to take out a few of the enemy. So that probe has definitely stopped. Looks like at least a company of Germans has been mauled. So they'll be out of action for a while. And yes, it looks like 81mm mortar. Yeah, single mortar doing that damage. So yeah, it looks like maybe what looks like the HQ unit there was giving the orders to bring in those mortars at the last minute. Yeah, that's just any of those 4 Germans on the wheat field really didn't have a chance. It was very rough. Okay, on the bottom left you'll see combat victories. Top line is just what they caused in this battle now, and the bottom one is over the course of the campaign so far, so you can just keep track of each individual team. Let's just run through it. That one had a good battle. So yeah, as I said, I finished this battle first time, felt so close to a draw or a victory, so I'd go back, do it again, film it this time. So it wasn't completely blind, so you call it cheating, a bit of a time travel there. But still very fun, still very close. The Germans got really close to that blue phase line, sorry. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you want to see in the future, and thanks for watching, everyone.